Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Remy Lindsay and I am a natural IFBB wellness pro. I'm currently 17.5 weeks out from my pro debut and I've just got home from work. I'm just about to eat eggs with cinnamon, with some blueberries and some dark chocolate. Also drinking a peppermint and spearmint tea and drinking some blackcurrant. So this video, I wanted to spread some awareness and some information because I feel like bodybuilding gets such a different reputation from what I know of bodybuilding and what people around me know of bodybuilding. And I really wanted to share that with anyone who wants to listen, or anyone who's thinking about competing or is in prep or has competed. You know, I wanted to share some insight that I've found from bodybuilding myself. So we're gonna go straight into the video because I'm so ready to share this information. I'm also gonna eat my eggs at the same time, but what time is it? 7:15. So for me, myth number one, okay, this is a super important one. Myth number one is that only elite athletes can become pros. I don't want to take credit away from myself with this tip, but I have some insight which I think is, there's this reputation out there that's like, only the people who put 110%, only the people who live and breathe and worship and, I don't even know, drink bodybuilding to survive are the ones who become IFBB pros. And I think I'm living evidence that that is not true. I am not the 110% athlete at all. I am the 90% athlete, and obviously relative to your average individual who goes to the gym, yeah, I'm giving 150% to the average gym goer, but to the average bodybuilding athlete, you know, I'm not giving 110%. Like, I do have regular holidays where I don't macro track. When I go on holiday, I don't macro track, I don't calorie track, I don't meal swap. I literally just go on holiday, have what I want to eat with the mindset that I want some protein in my breakfast and my dinner. You know, or lunch and dinner. You know, maybe I'll have cereal for breakfast, I don't know. I have as many ice creams as I want. I try and drink plenty of water, but like, you know, so I have a drink once every time I go on holiday. I go on a big night out at least once. Sometimes I'm not active, I don't go to the gym on holiday. Like Ruby, for example, she is more of the 110% athlete than I am. And, you know, look how it turned out that I got my pro card and she didn't, which is blew my mind, to be honest. But it's all about who turns up on the day. Like, you know, it doesn't mean I'm a better athlete than her, or a better athlete than you if you're going for a pro card. Ruby goes to the gym on holiday because she wants to. When we go on holiday together, Ruby goes to the gym 3 times. I don't go to the gym on holiday. I just go and have my holiday and, you know, do whatever. And even then, on the day that I get home, many athletes would think, right, I'm home now, I'm gonna go to the gym. Maybe the first day when I get back and the next day I'll rest because I know I'm gonna be tired from holiday and I'll not go to the gym until the day after that. You know, like, even on my first prep, there were things that I didn't track. I never binged or ate sweets or anything like that. Like, you know, a lot of people do end up binging, or they have a little taste of something, or, you know, whatever. It wasn't like that. It was just that I would add jalapenos to my food without counting them, or I would eat a pickle when I was really hungry, or a pickled onion, or a piece of garlic, you know, things like that, that many people would say that that's a slippery slope. But there was multiple things that I did like that. You know, maybe some people like exactly to the gram. Ruby, for example, she's like 10 grams to the dot of peanut butter. Whereas in my first prep, I was definitely a 12-gram person. Like, my point is, there's so many athletes out there that literally don't go on holiday. They live and breathe bodybuilding. They make sure they go to bed at 8 p.m. and they make sure they get up at 6 a.m. They do X, Y, Z before they've even started the day, and I don't even know, no off-plan meals for the last 6 months, whatever. or they've only macro swapped their off-plan meals in the last year, or they go on holiday and they take their meal prep with them for the 4 days that they're there, which is fine for them, but there's a lot of evidence that shows that you know, not all those individuals are pros, and I can prove to you that that mindset doesn't work for everybody, and it doesn't mean that the pros are the elite athletes. Like, I did work really hard and I turned up and I was the best person on that day, but it doesn't mean that I worked any harder than the person next to me. Like, I won against people that were bigger than me, but I just had a better proportion, or you know, I had slightly more condition, I don't know. That 110%, you know, obviously it works for some people. If they've given 110% and they've gotten to where they want to get, that's fulfilling the idea to them that this is the only way to get there, which I understand. I didn't get here like that, and maybe this year I'll do my pro debut and I'll see that, wow, I really do need to step up my game and go to the gym when I'm on holiday every time, or make sure I don't have, you know, 2 off-plan meals a week. My coach gave me an end of off season, she gave me 1 to 2 off-plan meals per week. You can bet that every week I had 2 and a biscuit, you know what I mean, like on a different day. I'm really not a strict athlete. I give everything when I need to, like this prep, obviously I'm giving absolutely everything. I don't miss a step, I don't miss a calorie. But in the off season, it's really not that important to give that 110%, in my opinion. So that is myth number 1, and that I'm very passionate about that one, because me and my sister are prime examples that you don't need to do that to get where you want to get. Like, it's super important that you don't just learn from these people that show you that you need to die for bodybuilding. So that's myth number 1, busted. Myth number 2 goes hand in hand with the first myth. So myth number 2 for me is that the myth is that you need to take steroids to do well in bodybuilding. This one obviously is dependent on your opinion of doing well or being successful in bodybuilding. If you want to win the Olympia, as in the Olympia, yeah, probably you will have to do steroids. That's probably more given and more acceptable, appropriate statement. But if your definition is to become an IFBB pro, is doing well, or if your definition is to step on the Olympia stage, is doing well, or to win a pro show, is doing well, you don't need steroids to do that. And not even an open pro show do you need steroids to win a show like that. That's not true. Multiple athletes in 2024 that are natural wellness athletes placed second in open pro shows against assisted athletes. And honestly, like, it's all about proportion and shape and condition, and it's not always about size. There are certain judges, obviously, or certain locations that you can compete in that will favour size, but it's not impossible to win a pro show as a natural athlete. My point is that assisted athletes placed after those individuals in every occasion. For me, how fulfilling it is that I'm 23 years old. I was 21 when I got my pro card, but to be 21 years old and, you know, have an IFBB pro card, and at 23 to have the opportunity now to step on stage with those individuals, like, I can now go and compete against, I don't know, Sandra Colorado or Julia Renee. Like, the fact that I can now stand on the stage with Julia Renee is mind-blowing. If I wanted to go and compete next to Julia Renee, I can. I don't know, so many Olympians, the Centaur, you know, Winter Adams, my coach, Sophie Brewster, all of these people, like, I now can go and compete against them. Obviously, I'm not saying I'd win the competition, but that is a huge achievement, and to do well in bodybuilding is your own definition, and winning the Olympia is not necessarily the most fulfilling out of all of those options that you have. Like I said, I feel so grateful that I can now compete against these people, share a stage with them, have that experience with them, and present my work with them. Like, my point is just, you don't need to take steroids to be successful in bodybuilding. Like, I feel successful. If I don't win this year, I still feel successful that I've had this opportunity. And it can be so fulfilling as a natural athlete, like 100%. So that is myth number 2. Boom. Myth number 3. I need to eat while I'm in the midst of this, because I'm pretty hungry, because what I'm trying to do at the minute is combine my meals so that I don't eat as much in the evening. Now, I'm gonna have to mention this to my coach because I don't know what she would say. She might say that's not good. But at the minute, I am combining both my oatmeals into breakfast meal and both my rice meals into one big meal. And then when I get home from work, I don't have as much to rush in and like feel super stressed about. Myth number 3 from me, my personal experience, is that peak week is the easiest week. I disagree with this. I'm not actually sure Ruby's opinion about this, but for me, it's not the easiest week. I absolutely hate pump training, and I was so miserable in peak week compared to many other weeks of prep. You get extra food, but you're so stressed and you're manipulating your water, and you've got to make sure you eat 16 supplements with each meal to make sure that you dry out properly. You've got to do bloody 25 reps of everything, and it's horrible and it's not fulfilling whatsoever. You've trained so super hard for the last 20 weeks, you know, give it your absolute everything in this certain way, and the next week after that, which you get told is the most fun week, actually to do peak week where you have to strip everything back and do 100 reps, exaggeration, but train completely differently, it's super difficult. And I know Ruby found like so much confusion we both found so much confusion in determining if we're training hard enough for a pump. Like, obviously you train for hypertrophy or hypertrophy, however you want to pronounce it, and you're aiming for 10 reps and you get 9, you're like, what I've gone through, that killed me, like, you know, super hard, making progressive overload. All of a sudden you have to go to 25 reps and your show is in 3 days, and you're like, this pump is giving me a win or a lose situation, and you don't know how hard is this supposed to feel? Am I pumping enough? Like, it's not fun at all, and you're absolutely freezing. So peak week is just, don't give yourself this idea that you're going to get to peak week and it's going to be the best time of your life, because it's not. You need to enjoy every moment leading up to this point. Enjoy the whole journey, which brings me very nicely onto my next myth, which is as well the myth that show day is super fun and the best day ever and makes the whole thing feel so worth it and fulfilling. Me and my sister had this idea that how much fun we were going to have on show day and like how fulfilled we would feel, and really it's not true. Like, obviously we're back again doing another prep, we're back competing again, but that is not because of show day. Show day is actually, like, I don't want to put a downer on everything, but I just want to be honest about my experience. Like I said, I'm back in prep again and I'm gonna do another competition, so it's not the worst time of your life. Like, obviously there's something in it that I really enjoyed, I'm not sure what it was, but this is my point, is that show day is not something that you should think everything's gonna feel worth it on show day, because it doesn't. Even winning, obviously you get this euphoria, but within a very short amount of time, naturally everyone returns to the same level of happiness. Everybody has a natural level of happiness. Mine might be slightly lower than yours, yours might be slightly lower than mine. But for example, you win a competition and your happiness spikes like this. Very shortly, your happiness returns to the same level. Or you're going along at this level, someone dies, it goes down very quickly, and then gradually over time, you go back to the same level. It's never gonna stay lower or go back higher. As humans, we just naturally adapt to whatever happens. So we win a competition, now I need something else to fulfill me. Something bad happens, your brain learns to deal with it. Like, you always go back to the same level of happiness. So don't count on winning a show to make everything right or to make everything better. You don't become a pro and automatically have loads of followers. You don't become a pro and automatically feel super fulfilled, you know, that you've achieved what you wanted to achieve, because as bodybuilders, like, obviously we're addicted to progression, we're addicted to constantly improving, so you're going to get somewhere and you're going to look for the next thing after that, and that's the continuous cycle. 2 years ago we'd look at our current physique and be like, wow, I wish I looked like that, but now we're here, we think, God, I can't wait for what I look like in 2 years, until you look back and you've already gone past your peak at some point, you know, when you're 55. But my point is, don't look forward to show day like it's going to make everything worth it, or that winning's going to make everything feel super fulfilled and content with, you know, the whole experience. I will return back to my original point though, that I am doing it again, but that's because we're constantly chasing improvement, like I said, and progression, and we're never happy. It's something we need to practice, is to look back and realise everything we've achieved, but all bodybuilders, all of us are constantly looking for more improvement and bigger muscles and better condition and better presentation and better stage confidence, and I need to change my hair next time to make it look better, and I need to do this differently next time, and just continuously improving the process until we've perfected it. So yeah, show day was a confusing one, you know. Honestly, you're so dehydrated and your food, you've had a peak food all week, and then on show day it's stripped back again and you've got no food basically. So yeah, you feel super like dry and dehydrated, and you don't have much food, and so tiring, and like you think that afterwards you're gonna want to like go out for dinner and stuff, but I couldn't think of anything worse after the show than going out in public for a meal. Like, I just wanted to go home and eat so much food on the sofa, which I did do. But yeah, just don't rely on that to fix the whole experience. Myth number 5 about bodybuilding or competing, okay, is that you need to take fat burners. A lot of people take fat burners. It's very common, it's a natural substance, depending on which ones you take. Obviously there are natural fat burners, but you don't need to do that to get lean. Myself and Ruby did our whole first prep without any fat burners, obviously, or assistance, completely natural. Many people do take fat burners such as your Himbine, and they don't look any leaner than somebody who's not taking them. Obviously they're probably missing other variables or not using it appropriately, because for example your Himbine, you have to take it fasted to have any effect, so possibly people are not following the correct protocols, or they're missing other variables like cardio or caloric deficit or steps, or, you know, basically energy output, or doesn't guarantee that you'll be any leaner than the next athlete. So if you don't want to take something, don't take it. You can definitely get there without it. It may be a bit slightly longer process, a couple of weeks longer, or a bit of a harder calorie deficit, or a bit more cardio, but you can get there without that substance. So anyway, if you have any questions about any of that, please leave a comment. I really enjoy making these sit down videos lately, so if you have any ideas, please do let me know, and I look forward to making another what I eat in a day or vloggy vlog next week, and sharing some more of my training. But yeah, anything you want to see, please let me know. Obviously as we get closer to show, there'll be a lot more insightful stuff to show, like picking a bikini, going to a different country, you know, the trenches in prep, and posing lessons and stuff like that. And obviously it looks, you do look kind of cool when you get shredded, so there's always that as well. But at 17.5 weeks out, there's not really much difference than what I was doing previously. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. And please come back for the next one, and make sure you like and subscribe. And I want to say again, thank you for continuing to subscribe to my channel. I've got 903 subscribers and I'm so grateful, so thank you so much.